Question 31. Things are getting serious in our series. We need to figure out two forces of the two supports. So I can mark this as force of fulcrum 1, F1, and force of fulcrum 2, F2. Common sense should tell you that F2 should be greater because you're closer to it, but if it doesn't, that's okay. You will see it mathematically. Then, since this beam is no longer massless, I have to apply force of gravity smack in the middle. So if it's 3 meters, it's going to be 1.5. And then the person's weight right here is applied 2 meters from the left. Forces that are applied to it, to this whole system, to the beam and the person on it, balance each other out, and our object is not moving vertically. So first things first, downward forces are two forces of gravity, so I might as well just do 180, which is the sum of mass times g, would be equal to force 1 plus force 2, forces of the fulcrums. Again, two variables, one equation doesn't get me far. Enter torques. If I choose my axis of rotation on the left, I will get my torque counterclockwise from F2 and clockwise from my two masses. I cannot combine the masses anymore because their forces of gravity for the person and the beam are applied at different distances, at different points, therefore they have different lever arms relative to my axis of rotation. So again, starting with counterclockwise because it's one torque, F2 times 3, and then clockwise I have my 80 times 9.8 times 2 plus 100 times 9.8 times 1.5. So I can technically do F2 as 9.8 factors out. Then I have 160 plus 150. That's 100 times 1.5. And all of that should be divided by 3 to get me where I need to go. 10, 13 newtons for F2. And then F1 from there is going to be 180 times g minus 10, 13, 751. Now, what if I chose my axis of rotation where F2 is applied? Not that big of a difference, but just to show you and test it out, I will have clockwise F1 times 3 would be equal to. Now my lever arm for the beam is the same. It's going to be 150 times 9.8. But for the person, he's now only 1 meter away from the fulcrum. So that's going to be 80 times 9.8. F1, I can factor out 9.8. And I will have 150 plus 80 to 30. All that divided by 3. 751, what do you know? From where F2 then is going to be 180 times 9.8 minus 751, 10, 13. And that is how you solve question number 31.